Welcome into the Recruiting Roundup brought to you by Ortho Arizona. I'm Claudia Collins alongside Cody Cameron. And today it's all about the quarterbacks, which we do talk a lot about here in Arizona. I feel like we've been very fortunate over the years to have so much quarterback talent in State 48. So today we are going to switch things up though and talk about some of the younger QBs. Cody, I know your schedule is a little bit crazier this season, but you're still getting out to games. So what have you seen?
Yeah, I headed out to Toroland on Friday with the Mountain View Toros taking on the Saguaro Sabercats, and atmosphere was amazing. Claudia, that place was packed, and the next wave of QBU in the state of Arizona has got to start at Mountain View, class of 2026. Brady Goodman. Now, Brady's a player who did play a little bit last year with the banged up Jack Jermaine, but with Jack graduating and Brady, taking those reins for Coach Litton in that offense, I feel like his game is just elevated. His as a player, I see this offseason just growing in terms of height and weight, listed at 6'4", 200 pounds, and his arm strength is totally there. He lit up Saguaro. He had 3 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown in that football game. In the first 2 weeks, he is shredded at secondaries. Like I said, the arm strength is there, the accuracy is there. He is calm, cool, collective over there at Mountain View, and they are rolling right now 2-0.
All right, from Brady to Basha to Brody, someone else you're looking at.
That was a great segue. Look at that. Very nicely done. Brody Veer, that was one of the biggest questions, right, in the state of Arizona was life after Damon Williams at Basha. Basha has her answer and then some. Brody Veers has looked awesome the first 2 weeks. He lit up Millard South. And I know a lot of our guys were out there filming that game, and everybody was blowing up our phones going, hey, this kid's the real deal. Another class of 2026 kid. And he just does everything right. I mean, he's got one of the most talented weapons in his offensive arsenal here, and he's finding every way to get him the ball, but he's doing it with, once again, accuracy. The whole thing about being accurate with it. It doesn't matter who you have if you can't get him the rock. Great touch on his passes. I was watching his film against Mesa this past weekend, and just throwing outside release fades, 9 routes, and it was just perfectly placed passes here. And so Brody Veers has looked amazing. He had 5 touchdowns in that Millard South game last week. He lit it up versus Mesa again. Once again, it's a junior quarterback that looks like he's done it the last 3 years. That is a huge integral piece in an offense. He's looked amazing.
Hey, I'm going to talk about a sophomore quarterback here. We're going to bring it way back to the sophomore group because Cale Snyder, I got to see him at Perry in his first start on varsity, and that was 2 weeks ago. He had 5 touchdown passes to 5 different receivers, so he truly showed like he knows his offense. And then they go out to California, and they play in the Honor Bowl, and they whoop him up over there too. He showed that he also has that same connection with his running back. So I think he's a really, really smart quarterback for his age and has really stepped into that leadership and has just come in and just blown things out of the water. And yeah, I mean, he was the Honor Bowl MVP, so crushed it.
Yeah. No, that was perfect because I remember talking to Coach Ortiz last year, Claudia, and he was telling me, and Coach Ortiz has coached incredible offensive talent. And him talking about Cale Snyder as a freshman, the freshman quarterback on his freshman team, he goes, Cody, this kid's special. And I kind of that eye, right, of those coaches, because they do such a great job. Coach Ortiz does such a great job of talking about his players and hyping up his players on social media to college coaches. But this one, you could tell was different. He's like, Cale Snyder, watch out. And I watched him. I saw him at Oregon. They went to him and his dad and a couple other teammates went to the Oregon camp this summer, and just watching his presence, same thing. It's like, yeah, he's a sophomore kid, but he carries his way like a seasoned veteran. He has all the tools too, like the frame, the arm strength, but the way he carries himself, the way he's a student of the game. I'm like, man, this looks like a 3-year starter already as a sophomore. I can't imagine the records and how many wins he's going to have in his career, but that's a heck of a player to highlight, Claudia.
Absolutely. And I also want to throw out there, Perry is definitely a team to watch this season. I think they've already come out the gates hot and they're like, hey, we're here to play. So, and that's a tough district to play in, and they're absolutely showing up for the challenge. So another recruiting roundup in the books. If you want more recruiting news, head to sports360az.com.